Love it, man. NFL action in your lives right now. It's your boy Donnie RightSide right here, rightwager.com. Let's have some fun and get after it on this card today. Game already underway right now. Minnesota and Pittsburgh. Carson Wentz, Aaron Rodgers. Ooh. Look at that score right now, 24-6. By the way, I thought this game would stay under the total, 41.5. Just watching right now. 11:18 left in the fourth quarter, 30 total points. Going to take 2 touchdowns to beat that. And really the only way I see that actually going down is if the Pittsburgh Steelers score 2 more touchdowns, because I don't think the Minnesota Vikings are going to do anything. That offensive line is injured, and it's an absolute sieve. So that's one for me that I won't be looking at too much there at that point. But I did think the Steelers had a chance to win. Wasn't happy that Jaylen Warren was down in that game, but didn't have any plays per se. But I did think that game would stay under the 41.5. Waiting on the 1 o'clock kickoffs today. A lot of fun stuff to go to. And we'll go through every single game quickly here. Some news and notes, any chats that you guys have there in the chat box, any questions that you got, just flip it on the screen. We'll get after it and see what's what. But game number 1 looks like it's in the books. I don't think, Pittsburgh is going to lose this game, being up over, what is it, 18 points right now? So 3 touchdown comeback for Carson Wentz in the fourth quarter when they look absolutely brutal, which, again, I was saying to myself, how bad are the Cincinnati Bengals? Crazy, man. How bad are those bums? Absolute bums out there in these streets, huh? Sheesh. Terrible. All right, Philadelphia and Tampa Bay. 1 o'clock start. Heat and humidity, we've heard about it all week here in Philadelphia. It does give teams a problem, and it will. But understand this. If there's any correlation that you're putting to last year the Philadelphia Eagles got beat by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa, remove it out of the equation. No Devontae Smith, no A.J. Brown, no Lane Johnson in that game. Completely different circumstances. No Mike Evans in this game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Baker Mayfield has a bicep injury on his throwing on his throwing arm. Am I thinking the Philadelphia Eagles run away with this one? No, I'm not. But I do see this number starting to creep back up, that 44.5, 45 range. I think we get points, but also betting against the Philadelphia Eagles is bad for your health. It just is. It's bad for your health. It really is. I think the Eagles win this game in Tampa because, they go down and don't play. I'm telling you, take that out. If you say today there was no A.J. Brown, no Devontae Smith, and no Lane Johnson in this game, come on now. Stop it. Eagles should be able to move the football in this game today. Eagles win that one. 44.5, not really loving the total, but anytime the Eagles play and they're forced to score if they need to today, that game should go over the total. But that's where I'm living in that one. New Orleans and Buffalo is an absolute blowout in the making. Now we see 15.5s and 14.5s out here in the landscape. Spencer Rattler, bad quarterback, bad football team. Josh Allen, they're going to do whatever they want today. I think Allen throws a couple touchdowns in this game. And also, if we're looking for a team total, I'm just have Bet365 up here just to keep it simple. Let me just get all the team totals up on one screen here for me. And by the way, there's some things that Bet365 still does well, but I tell you, it used to be my go-to for team totals and stuff. Their prices aren't even as good as DraftKings or FanDuel anymore. But if we look in this one, scroll down. We are looking at this. The Buffalo Bills today, 27.5 as a team total. Oh, they can get that, right? That's minus 280 on 365. You got to be kidding me, man. Yeah, I ain't no mistake. 280. You're going to have to pay to get 27.5. You want an average price point here? 34.5 is plus 140, which means you're probably ducking around that 32.5 range, which is crazy. But by the way, they're going to be in the high 20s with a legitimate chance to get that. It's just a matter of how those touchdowns are being scored today is the way you should play that one. 48.5. What are you getting out of New Orleans? By the way, also, my favorite bets now on 365, if you are using them, are the team bets. If you go to team props under each game, it lists the total touchdowns in the game. And also main props, you can do it from each team, how much rushing touchdowns each side, how much total rushing touchdowns. I don't know what we're getting out of New Orleans, which is the problem. But the touchdown passes, I believe. Let me get on this game. I just want to see it real quick. So we'll go to main props. Over 2.5 touchdown passes in this game is a minus 140. And again, it doesn't matter who throws them. Mitch Trubisky can be in the fourth quarter throwing touchdown passes, and they count. Rushing touchdowns, 2.5 minus 115. That's got to be 3 touchdown passes in this game. If we're looking at 50 total points, 3, because you're also looking at, you probably get blown out if you're New Orleans. You're not running the football late in the game, and maybe you can get a junk touchdown, because I'm not in love with the Buffalo Bills defense, but that's the way I see that game. I think it's a chance for a blowout. Are we taking the 14.5? No, probably not. The 48.5, but I think there's some other interesting ways you can bet this and certainly have some fun with. So that's how that game's going to play out. It's a blowout for Buffalo, and I think we get 3 total touchdown passes in that game, and I think that makes a lot of sense. Carolina and New England. Bryce Young, Drake May. I'm waiting for New England to turn it on, and this could be the game they do it. But understand Carolina last week with a really good performance, 30-0. Do I think they take that on the road and win the game in New England? No. Am I in love with this game any way, shape, or form? Not necessarily. 43.5 total, probably lean towards the over in that spot. 5.5 is a price point. I think New England wins. But if you're looking for a teaser game, I think this makes a lot of sense. I think New England can win, but trusting New England on a teaser, sometimes it's a little bit tough to do. Sometimes it's tough. But in this one, not loving it, I should say. But let me go see if we have any of these, props for this game, which might make some sense. We'll go to main props here. 2.5 touchdown passes in this game is minus 115. So 3 cashes that at a cheap price. I think that is a legitimate chance. But which way would you rather go? The rushing props in this one, because Chuba Hubbard is active, 2.5 at plus 155. Do you think there's 3 rushing touchdowns? What are you more likely to bet in this game? For me, it's probably the touchdown passes over 2.5 than 3 total rushing touchdowns. But I do think New England takes care of their business. If I had to play this game as a side, I would take New England minus 5.5 at home. Public's always, Carolina's got a heartbeat. Maybe that heartbeat goes away. 27-20 final, which is probably what you're lining up somewhere around that range on the total. 24-20 final doesn't get it done. I do think New England wins. I think it's a decent teaser option to take them there, and that's the way we'll leave it. Here's the other side of the Carolina Panthers game. Washington and Atlanta. Marcus Mariota back at quarterback. Terry McLaurin down for this game, going on the road. One of those kitchen sink games we talk about for Atlanta. They were so embarrassingly bad last week, and their coach really is desperate for a victory. I actually like Atlanta in this game to cover the 2.5 points at home. Anybody out there is thinking that? Anybody out there saying, you know what? I think there's a legitimate opportunity here that they can win this game. I do. I really do. I think there's a good chance at that. Get these block lists out here, man. These kick people are insane. But hear me out on that, though. I think Atlanta wins this game. I thought last week, by the way, you take a look at, Bijan in the backfield. Oh, he should have a big game. He didn't do anything in that game. Nothing. So for my money, I think Atlanta with a big bounce back must win at home. And come on now, if Marcus Mariota heads on the road and beats you, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. But that game should be Atlanta's in the bag. 43.5 to 1, anything to do with that. I think that's the way to go, though. Flacco Goff today, Cleveland and Detroit, 9.5 to 10-point spread. Here's the way I would play this game. Cleveland's defense is absolutely spectacular, particularly at home. Particularly against the run. Jared Goff and that offense should be able to crank things. They should be able to crank things up in this game today. I don't know if I like the 10. I think Detroit wins this game. And if you're taking the teaser to take it to below 6, I get it. I don't think Cleveland goes on the road and wins. Jerry Jeudy might be an interesting option at wide receiver because I think they're getting their butt whipped in this one and maybe get some extra yards at the end of the game when maybe Joe Flacco's not even in. But for my money, it would be the Detroit passing game I would focus on. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, touchdown passes for Jared Goff. It's a 44.5 total at a 10-point line, which is really rare in the NFL. But we're not expecting Cleveland to do all that much. And if they shut down the running game, that leaves open that Detroit passing game that can get hot. And I don't necessarily love Detroit on the road, but I do like Detroit when they're at home. They really like to get after it. Tennessee and Houston, bounce back spot for Houston. They haven't won a game yet. Their season's basically over. This is the game you have to have. This is why they're favored by 7.5. Do I love taking the minus 7.5? No, I don't. But a rookie quarterback going on the road, this should be the Texans Super Bowl today. This should be laid out on a platter, 39.5. You take a look at Nico Collins at wide receiver. He should eat today. You take a look at their quarterback, Stroud. He should eat today. No doubt in my mind. This should be a victory for the for the Houston Texans over the Titans. And if you are looking to line up a teaser, this one makes some sense. Because quite frankly, if Houston, just shut it down, go 0-17 then. If you can't beat the Titans in your own building, where they are terrible on defense, where teams like Indy and getting Daniel Jones up and down the field, I'm not saying I love the running game at all for the Houston Texans, but understand this. They should be able to move the football in the air today. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. That should happen. So for me, Detroit moving the football by the air is the way to attack this game. And I don't think we're going to find out. By the way, I was shocked last week that Green Bay lost that game. Green Bay has a fantastic defense. They did nothing on offense. Again, credit that Cleveland defense. It's really, really good. But for me, Detroit through the air, Jared Goff, maybe multiple touchdown passes today, and certainly looking at those wide receivers. Tennessee and Houston, we just went over that. I do think Houston eats, and I think C.J. Stroud opens up today. What does he got, 250 in the air? Should be. This is one of those where you're 0-3. This isn't really about a scoreboard game for you. It's like, hey, let's just get out of here with a 13-6 win. No, it's about expanding your offense today and getting that mojo for the rest of the season. So you might be a competitive team down the stretch. Give me Houston to win that game. I don't know if they win it by 7.5. Good teaser prop. 39.5. I do think that game does go over the total because I think Houston finally is going to have some breathing room and be able to get after it. That's what I'm feeling here. Justin Herbert and Jaxson Dart. That's the Chargers and the Giants. Total listed at 42.5, down from 45.5. Russell Wilson not starting. Jaxson Dart's supposed to be the starter the rest of the year. It's the right move. It's the right move. It really is. So for me, I look at this game again as a teaser opportunity for the Chargers. They should win this game. And if I had to bet it straight, it would be the Chargers too. Like there's 6s out. I'm looking at DraftKings right now. There's a 6. I don't think the Giants should be competitive because you don't know what they're going to get out of their offense. And it's probably going to look a little bit different than you saw on the Russell Wilson. But the defense still stinks on the Giants. The offensive line still stinks. It's still a Harbaugh-led team where they have an unbelievable quarterback that's throwing dimes all over the place. Quentin Johnston has actually woken up on the season. Ladd McConkey's legitimate. They should be able to move the football at will against the Giants. They should win, and they should take control of that. Now, let me just go over to Bet365 here. Because after we get off the show, I got a couple things I really got to get after and try to check on some of these. But if I'm looking here, where are you at, Giants game? Okay, Chargers-Giants. Main props. 2.5 touchdown passes in this game is at a -115. Now, the question is going to be is, you figure Herbert's going to throw a touchdown, right? At least. What are you getting out of Jaxson Dart, though? Is this a 2-touchdown passing game for Jaxson Dart in his first career start? That's a little bit worrisome. Good weather, though, by the way, outside. I don't know, an hour and a half away from the stadium. It's warm down here in South Jersey. I imagine it's not bad weather up there in North Jersey. Rushing touchdowns in this game. 1.5 at a -90 price. That's expensive. But I do think they get 2 rushing touchdowns today. How are you playing Cam Scatterbo out there, guys? Would you play him on the ground today? Would you play him in the air? I think it's really interesting. And by the way, did we just get a touchdown? Carson Wentz slinging touchdowns out here? 24-14 now? Yeah. Must have missed that one out here. See, I'm paying attention to the show, boys. That's what I'm supposed to be doing right now. But Jaxson Dart, how do you guys play that out there today? 43.5 total. Are we expecting a good offense? I always start with that premises of when you have a rookie quarterback, it's really hard to make money with a rookie quarterback, specifically in their first start. Now, we do like the fact that it's at home. That's a good football team they're playing today. I do expect shots more downfield, and also understand this with Jaxson Dart. He's going to force the football to Malik Neighbors, as he should. I just want to see what Cam Scatterbo does today. Maybe an anytime touchdown prop. I think his reception yards in the 20s, I think he can do that. I really do. So that's one way you probably would sort of play that. But for me, I do think the Chargers win that game, and I think that's a safe play. If the Giants somehow rise up and beat the Chargers at home with Jaxson Dart in his first career start, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't think that happens here. I just don't. Jacksonville and San Francisco, 3.5-point line. There are 3s out here now. 3s at BetMGM, 3s at 365, 3s at the Westgate out in Vegas, 3.5 still at FanDuel, 3.5 at DraftKings. I like Jacksonville. I like their defense. They should be able to put pressure. And as we know this, like San Francisco has been clutch to start the season. They're still injured, but Brock Purdy is coming back. I think this game stays under the total of 45.5, but I do think the Jacksonville Jaguars can close that. I sort of feel like I'm leaning more on Jacksonville as the season goes along. Like I like what I get from them. So I think it makes some sense, though. I do. I think it makes sense where Jacksonville can stay in that football game with a 1-score game in the fourth quarter with a chance to pull that one out. Trevor Lawrence, step up. Travis Hunter, step up, man. You know, Brian Thomas Jr., get yourself back into the ball game. Like that's what we want to see. Really, that's what we want to see. But I like Jacksonville in that game. Indianapolis and Los Angeles. This is a tough game for me at this point. Devontae Adams is supposed to play, but he's got a hamstring injury. We all know how that turns out, don't we? We know how that turns out. But when you say to yourself, all right, Rams, a devastating loss last week to the Philadelphia Eagles. They should have won that game. They played well enough. They just collapsed in the second half. And an epidemic has broken out across the NFL where you can apparently block every single field goal you get. Hopefully we don't get that today. But how good is I feel like I'm in a week-to-week referendum with the Indianapolis Colts. What are we getting out of them? What's the deal? Is Daniel Jones really this good? Is Jonathan Taylor going to win the rushing title? Is Shane Steichen going to be coach of the year? They go into the Rams, and they win. Now my eyes are wide open and taped open. Like, they're open now. Like, hey, man, I see it, Colts. You win this game, now it's wide open for me. Wide open. 3.5. Like, I feel like I want to take Indy in this game. I do. I love what the Rams got. I love the Rams running back situation. I love the wideouts, but if Devontae Adams is down a little bit, that's going to hurt them. That 3.5 is staring you right in the face. It feels like they want you to take the Indianapolis Colts. That's what it feels like. It feels like that. Yeah, exactly, Akbar, right? You get Come on, man. The guy ain't playing with a hamstring. By the way, Akbar, did you like me early in the week when they had that Mike Evans? Like, oh, by the way, he's going to get an MRI. Yeah, you know he's not playing. Stop it. Just call me. Call me, baby. You know it. Not a lot to love, by the way. Let's see what we got here, though. Let's see the team props. Let's go to team props in this Rams game here. Let's get a look here. All right, main props. Touchdown passes 2.5 at a minus 160 price. Rushing touchdowns 2.5 at a minus 110. So you're banking on, I guess, Kyron Williams getting at least one in that instance, right? Because Matthew Stafford's probably not going to quarterback sneak into the end zone. I don't love that one. But the touchdown pass, they're so always intriguing. Like, again, the reason I bring up these bets are, I have a lot of bets today on quarterback props. Touchdown passes thrown. I'm buying low in a lot of situations. I like some quarterback teams or quarterback props, buying low on passing situations as well. I also like a wide receiver prop on a Right Wager today. But understand this. Like, when you just look at a football game like the Colts and the Rams, like, to throw 3 total touchdowns in that game, it's in a dome. Like, Daniel Jones has been really good. Matthew Stafford can sling it. Puka Nacua in the red zone. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't that game just feel like it's going to get 3 touchdown passes? The total's 49.5. And again, I just said, like, Daniel Jones might be able to run one in, but you're telling me Daniel Jones can't throw one and Stafford can't throw 2 in this game? Come on. Come on, man. We're thinking about some things at this point right now. We have to load up a little bit more. We have to load it. Oh, by the way. Oh, look at this. This game's going to go over, isn't it? Steelers, 1st and goal. Let me see. Hold on. It's good because I got to get around my monitors here. Yeah, this game's going over. So what needs to happen? 41.5. You got 38. You can afford a field goal here. So if you get a field goal, it's 27-14, which means Minnesota's not, kicking any more field goals at this point. Can that Minnesota defense hold up and stop them to a field goal? That's the question. Boy, what a sweat. What a sweat in game number 1. Huh? Chicago and Las Vegas. Geno Smith, I don't like him. I don't like the Raiders. But I do like them today in a certain way. They should be able to score against Chicago. The only reason why Dallas couldn't score any touchdowns last week is CeeDee Lamb got hurt in the first quarter and Dak just did Dak things in the second half multiple times. George Pickens, catching footballs like this with his hands, deflecting for interceptions. That 47.5 is staring at me in this game. I love Ramadunze. He's going to score again today. I'm just waiting to see, what are we getting out of Brock Bowers? Full practices all week, but still wearing that bionic leg for his knee brace. Both of those football teams move it. It's a 1.5 spread. We're expecting Chicago to go on the road and win a football game now, aren't we, after that game against Dallas? That's a tough one. I don't love that side. I always lean towards the home team in that type of environment here. So it is what it is. Baltimore and Kansas City. Let's get to the good stuff here. And by the way, let me just do a quick check here on these team props in that Bears game. So if we go main props, 3.5 touchdown passes, but that's a plus 140. Do you think you get 4 touchdown passes in this game, guys? You think you can get 4 of them? Wonder if we can in that one. Rushing prop, though. It's 1.5, but it's heavily juiced. It's minus 170. Now, if we go into the team props on 365 for Bears Raiders, a half of a rushing touchdown for the Bears today. Swift, I think, is supposed to be good to go. So they rush for 1. It's a minus 180 price. We get everybody. Quarterbacks, running backs, reverses, special teams, fake run into the end zone. If you look at the Raiders total in this game, their rushing touchdown is a half, but it's minus 230. I think we get a rushing touchdown on both sides today. I do. But I do think Geno lights up that secondary. Maybe Caleb Williams can turn it around too in that spot. Baltimore and Kansas City. 2.5-point number. I think Baltimore is the better team, but something is broken on that defense for Baltimore right now. Madubuike is out. You should be able to expose them on the ground, but Kansas City really doesn't do that. Here's the key contributor. Patrick Mahomes is at home today. And I'm going to assume that we have nice weather out there. Let me just take a look there. 86 degrees, no precipitation, light winds. The one thing that we do know is Baltimore's offense is a juggernaut. They're going to be in the high 20s in this game, as you feel. The question is, can Kansas City chase them down? I look at that 48.5 and say there is a chance it stays under because it's a lot of points. But if I'm saying to myself that, Baltimore is over, and it's also like, you know what? I think if they score, mid-20s, 25, 26, 27 points, do you think that Kansas City is actually going to be sitting there saying, we can't get over 17 points in this game? Hint, hint. They should be able to score. Mahomes should be able to throw the football because also what we're saying is the simple fact of this. Patrick Mahomes gets Xavier Worthy back today. How effective he's going to be, I don't know, but you're going to have to account for him. Thornton has stepped up. And then also you take a look on the other side and say, well, you got some vets over there and Hollywood Brown is still there and Travis Kelce. They need to get some juice today. I think that game goes over the total. Also look at Kansas City's offense getting moving. You don't have to worry about the Baltimore Ravens offense. They'll move it. Patrick Mahomes and that offense should move it today. Green Bay and Dallas tonight. 7-point number at some outlets, 6.5, probably the majority. Homecoming game. for our boy, Micah Parsons. I would do the same thing I did last week. Did you guys watch Pro Football Today when I was filling in for Joe Lisi? Like, I didn't even like Micah Parsons to get a sack. It was for Rashawn Gary to get a sack because Micah Parsons is going to wreak havoc. He's going to do the same thing. So my bet, again, I think Parsons does get a sack because he's going to be extra hungry in this one. But understand this. Rashawn Gary is going to get another sack today. That's the way I'll play that prop. But if you are looking at Baltimore and Kansas City, main props, 3.5 touchdown passes plus 125. That's going over. Rushing touchdowns, 2.5 at a plus 120 price. That's interesting because you need 3 of them to cash that. I like the passing touchdowns more. If we look at the team props in that Kansas City game, 1.5 rushing touchdowns for Baltimore is a plus 140 price. That's not bad. Half a rushing touchdown for the Chiefs is a minus 220. By the way, they've scored in all 3 of their games a rushing touchdown on the ground. And no matter week A on that defense, a little bit softer, I think that's a really good look. But again, it's minus 220. Maybe people aren't saying, I'm not going to lay 220 for that. 1 touchdown on the ground for Kansas City. I think Pacheco or Kareem Hunt does run one of those in. I do. But I do think Mahomes has a pretty good passing day in there. Green Bay and Dallas. Let me just take a look at what some of those team props would be in this game. If we look at that 6.5 and 7s, the NFL is tough and the NFL is tricky, and they're out to tricky at times. They really are. And the reason I bring that up is when you look and say, okay, man, last week Dallas was really bad. Yeah, I understand they are. I understand they're really bad. I do. But you have to understand this. The NFL is a week-to-week league. They're on their home field. Did Green Bay look great last week? Green Bay lost last week, which maybe is a bad thing for Dallas because now they're going to be real extra when they come home. But see what I mean? Like week to week, and then Green Bay's going to blow out. Like I thought they would have really beaten them up. By the way, did we get another score in this game? Did they stop Pittsburgh? I didn't watch it. I wasn't even watching right there. Pittsburgh was going in. This game looks like it's going to be a surefire under now. Wow, they must have got a stop down there. Interesting. See, Jalen Ramsey is currently out of the game after being out there on the last drive and hobbling around. Okay. Maybe Carson Wentz can push it upfield. But this game tonight, Green Bay and Dallas. Teaser game, I don't think Green Bay loses this game. I don't think they lose back-to-back. No CeeDee Lamb on the field. That really raises the stakes, and he's going to be under siege, Dak Prescott. And you saw last week, didn't play all that well. But props in this one. Team props. Rushing touchdowns for Green Bay, over 1.5 plus 165. For Dallas, over half of a rushing touchdown, minus 120 price. That's interesting. They had 2 rushing touchdowns in game 1, 2 rushing touchdowns in game 2. None last week because they're getting the brakes beat off them in the second half by Chicago. Look at the sacks by Green Bay. 3 in the first game, 2 in the second game, 2 in the third game. And again, I do think Rashawn Gary gets a sack. Totals in this game. Let me see here. Player props, main props. There we go. 2.5 touchdown passes in that Dallas game is a minus 170 price. Rushing touchdowns to get 2 of them is a minus 170 price. There could be value in that game because we're looking at 47.5 as totals there. That could be an interesting one. It really could be. Huh. That's a good one. But that's the card for the NFL Sunday as we watch to see if this game stays under the total, which I'm sort of rooting for. I was rooting for the Steelers because being an NFC guy like the Philadelphia Eagles, you want to see Minnesota take losses, and that's what they're going to do today. What do we got here? Let me lean over. We got 10. I don't see where they're at right now. Oh, they're inside their own 20. Yeah, stop it. Stop. 3:28 to go. What are the odds that they even kick a field goal, huh? You know they're going to have to go for a 4th down, which then puts Pittsburgh in chance to get another touchdown. But good card today, guys. Exciting card today as we go. I like this little Sunday solo shows that we have here. Let's get a little bit of vibes out here, huh? Where's the vibes? Come on. Let's get some vibes out here, huh? Yeah. Winning bets today, baby. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to cheer on my Philadelphia Eagles at 1 o'clock, and away we go. But I got some extra work to do. I got to rehash this card real quick now that we have everything we need underway, and we're going to kick off in about a half hour. By the way, if you're watching the Ryder Cup, that's a wrap at this point right now. See ya. Team USA stinks. Major League Baseball, every game starts at 3 o'clock today. Who's getting in? Are those Mets going to get left out of the playoffs? Next week, playoff baseball. My Phillies don't even start till next Saturday, so we got some time at this point. But thanks for tuning in on a Sunday. When to get in here around 12 o'clock, get you guys out by, a half hour before the game. We'll continue to do this stuff. The boys probably will be back tomorrow night once again on 30 minutes till kickoff, but sometimes a nice little solo show when everybody's booked up here just makes the most sense as we go. So thanks for tuning into the show today.